What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of the BrandonJaneauShow. Um, as you know, this is again, I am doing it by myself. I am not doing it with anybody else. No interviews, no anything. Just me, again, doing a video, bringing it more so to you guys. Doing it. Hope you guys enjoy this episode. Of course, shout out to my team, Urban Boulevard .us. That's their website. You go and buy their amazing clothes. Um, I am, of course, brand ambassador of their company. So you go buy something for them from their website or from their social media pages. You like something from them, and you go buy it. Cool. And if you do, type in the code Brandon.30 for 30% off of your purchase. Hope you guys enjoy that. And let's get into it. So I've been thinking for like the last couple of hours about what the hell am I gonna what am I gonna talk about for this podcast. And I realized that I could avoid a story. I mean, this is not what I do. I don't avoid stories. I don't avoid um situations that's going on. And if I got some sense of some sense of helping in a sense, I would I would hope uh, I could speak from it from my personal opinion. I can't speak for everybody else. I can speak for me. And so, of course, what I'm talking about, of course, is what's going on in the Ukraine right now. With the Russian attacks. It's a terrible thing that's going on, and I guess what is technically happening is that um, the seeds for a possible World War III probably has started. Um, Now, hopefully, and it's crazy as I say this, as I'm about to say this. Hopefully, cooler heads can prevail, but these are you got literally a dictator trying to dictate, and a, and yeah, it's not gonna probably go as planned as cooler heads prevailing, but we shall see how this all plays out. Now, um, which brings me to us, this country. Um, for the first time, I think in my life, there's no getting around this. There's no lights, no blinky cameras. There's nothing news story wise that you could throw out there. You remember, like every time something crazy popped off in this country, in the United States, were stepping into something just outrageous would happen in like the entertainment world. That would be like, wait, this is a story now? What the fuck? When did this come out? And you will get so quickly into that you don't even pay attention to what's really going on in the world. And they do it such an amazing job. America is an um um incredible at doing that. They create the animosity for this country to get your ass completely out of the mindset of what's happening around the world. And they do it so effortlessly. They do it incredible. Which is hats off to them because they are incredible at it. But I don't think for first time, I don't in my lifetime, I can't remember a time other than maybe 9/11 where the country they can't lie to us. They can't out they can't outsource this. They can't out put bullshit out here now and make us go all flock to it because now our eyes are open and it's like, ooh, man, what's going on? It's crazy. And there's always been uh wars over territories in other countries. There's always been situations that popped off in other countries. But this is the first time a actual enemy of our country has actually said, "Oh, you think we're not gonna do something? Okay, watch us." Because we've always been the big bad bully. We've always been the everybody get in trouble. Who's the first one they calling it? Especially if you're an ally of ours, United States. You're calling us. We're going over there. Y'all not touching them. Here's where it gets kind of, I would say, interesting but intriguing. So I got on here, I did research. I know, right? I do research, which is crazy, right? I had to just make sure because I remember um NATO. I remember NATO when I was in school. I remember it, and that's all. That's an alliance of pretty much every single country, pretty much. It's 30 countries in NATO. Um, there's two countries particularly that's not in NATO: Russia and the Ukraine. So for the United States of America to kind of be in, listen, what I'm saying, but don't take what I'm saying and take it as like, oh, he's just saying what's happening in Ukraine is not terrible. No, it's fucking horrible what's happening. But for the United States to get in a feelings, it's kind of ridiculous because technically they're not in our protection jurisdiction for our countries. We can't run out there and scream we got to go protect Ukraine because they're not technically in our protection, which is why you created an alliance with all these countries. So if a situation like this pop off, can you technically be mad at a situation like this? Can you? Because it's kind of like you technically didn't. You can't really say, "Hey, we got to go protect this country." It's like I really don't know. We can because we're stepping on another jurisdiction's territory, which is why I feel like World War III. I know I said the word right. Oh man, that's bad. World War III is. I'm not gonna sit here and say it can't happen. I'm not gonna sit here and say it can't happen. I said it earlier. I think the seeds of it has been planted, but I think everybody, and this is why I say cooler heads will prevail eventually. I think because, and before I got on here, by the way, literally before I hit the record button, Joe Biden uh posted, well, said that he's giving new sanctions to Russia. Um, and I don't know what those new sanctions are, so I'm gonna read it after I get off of here. I'm sorry that I didn't see it before I got on here, but he's sending more new sanctions to Russia, which is very interesting. But before I got on here, also I was watching a podcast. Uh, Shout out to the goat Andrew Schultz, Flagrant 2, Brilliant Idiots. Can't wait to see what they're gonna talk about on that because that's gonna be an interesting one. But Andrew Schultz said something that was pretty interesting. He said that in particular, he's like, Ukraine's not technically in NATO, so we can't really scream we gotta protect them because it's like they're not in the protection guidelines. They're not. They're not even. They're with us, kind of like they're affiliated. They're affiliated with the NATO agreements, but they're not technically in it. And he said something that was pretty interesting. And he was like, "Well, he was like, here's the thing: Russia controls pretty much all of the oil and gas, all of the oil in pretty much the rest of the country. They control all the oil in the rest of the country, which is pretty interesting. So outside of what we do, you know, Russia pretty much owns all of the gas all of the oil that goes into all of these other countries. So are you really, if you're the United States of America, do you really run out there and try to protect Ukraine, or do you just let it happen? I'm not saying what is happening isn't bad. Again, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, but if you're thinking in the sense of what America thinks, like let's put restrictions and sanctions on the Russian government and the Russian powers to be and say this is wrong, but particularly get the other countries to back you on it, which means now you cut off Russia's line of resources, pretty much financial resources, because if you own all of the rest of the oil for all these other countries, and now you got sanctions going against you, and all these other countries are now a little bit of, like looking at you like, why would you even just go into this country and you didn't for no reason at all? You know, you got an inch and you took a mile. Why would we even support you? Which brings it back to the United States, because at one point, um, which I got to go back and read. I got to research this, but I do believe I think our currency, the United States dollar, has kind of lost its value a little bit in the landscape of the country, which brings it to the Middle East, because all of our oil comes from the Middle East, Saudi Arabia in particular, which brings it to another level of all of these countries are going to need oil. Who are you going to get the oil from? If Russia can't get you oil because they're all sanctioned, who are you getting oil from? The United States brokers a deal for Saudi Arabia and all these other countries that need oil now. And who does Saudi Arabia? What's Saudi Arabia's currency? What do they deal in? Huh? Imagine that, United States dollars. Now the economy isn't as bad as it was because now everybody's using us to get through Saudi Arabia. Hmm, that's interesting. That's intriguing, don't you think? See, there's always two sides to every story, as we all know. I technically don't think that the United States is not gonna. There's not gonna be a war. Russia going into the Ukraine, and they're trying to actually take, I think, two countries because two countries in the Ukraine actually want to be still be back with Russia. But I think for me, as I'm getting more information of the stories and everything that's going on, I see it, and it's just like this is like I said, this is the first time in a long time I could actually say there's no lights, there's no flashy cameras, there's nothing that you can downplay with this. This is happening, live action. It's live action. We cannot not see this. We literally are seeing people videotaping Russian planes doing aerial attacks, sending bombs through houses. There's no way you can outplay that. You cannot out. There's no flashing lights in that. Another reason why I particularly think World War III would never probably happen is because listen, for World War II happened 80 years ago. We continue to act like World War II is like literally like, oh, that happened 100 years ago. It's close, 80, but it damn near 80 years. But still, still, World War, you know, World War II. A lot of people don't. I don't know if y'all remember history classes like I do, but I think the First World War, I think we got into it. The United States got into it. Um, and it's literally, I think we were just trying to establish us as a country, pretty much. World War I, we got into it, did some things. Um, but World War II is where America became the bullies on a block. We became the most dominant country For years, for 80 years, damn near, we were the most dominant fucking country in ever. Like you had never seen a country do what we have done. And again, it kind of catches us off guard because we don't really talk about it a lot, right? But World War II, actually, that's why so many people love to talk, kind of bring up World War II because that's when we became the most dominant country in the world. We were trying to stay out of it, but this how crazy it is, right? We were trying to stay out of it, but we were still sending the UK, we were sending Britain and all our allies weapons, but we're trying to stay out of it. We're not in it. We're neutral. We don't, but you're sending weapons and help care, like help resources, and you can't really stay out of a war when you're helping somebody that's going against another countries. That's kind of why World War II started for us, particularly Pearl Harbor, um, because of us dealing under the table with all these allied countries that we were already cool with, and Japan heard about it, and that's what happened. I'm not here to give history lessons. I'm just here telling y'all what's really going on. I don't think World War III happens because I think for the first time, I think in this country, and this is why we've kind of kept it at bay for so long. I think for the first time, I don't think America wants to go to World War III because it's like I don't think we survived it. I think we survived as a country, but not as the most dominant country anymore. Now, hear me out when I say this. For years, we've joked, we've played, we've laughed about what if, man, China gonna be dominant, man. China got us by a long. I remember when I was a kid, people were telling me that, man, give it like 20, 40, 50 years, China gonna be the dominant country. I'm 28. I was 8 when people used to say that shit. I'm 28, bro. China owns all our debt. like, like, like China owns all our debt. China, well, most of our debt. I think like maybe 80%, something like that. Of our most of our debt has is China. All of our social media love comes from China. The phone I'm talking on right now is a China invention. Like China's not something to fuck with. Like we need to really pay attention to what the fuck is happening in this world. Which is why I say you can't put the lights and the cameras on anymore because it's like, dude, once that genie out the bottle, that genie's out the fucking bottle. You can't even touch it anymore. And that's what's happening. And now you're hearing China might invade Taiwan. Taiwan. If that happens, now it's really like, oh my God, here we go. Like, because that's a different conversation. Because if China starts to do shit, there ain't that many countries that can really just stand up to China, man. We are the most dominant country, so we say we could barely stand up to China. Like it's that. Like they could cut off every. Not only can they leave us physically, mentally, socially, and everything inept. They can literally, they can literally leave us blind and deaf to the world. China has that much power. They can literally leave us blind and deaf to the world if they wanted to, because they know everything. You could talk that tough shit, but we know damn well we don't want a war with China at all. And what do you think China's gonna do? China could just sit it out and be like, yo, let them fight it amongst themselves. Or they could see the perfect opportunity to be like, let's show everybody we the number one now. I was actually watching again Andrew Schultz, and he was talking about this on his podcast with Brain Idiots. He was like, "Yo, China is the only country like China created TikTok. That's why I think That's why when I think Trump was president, he was like, "Yo, we got to create our own social media platform for TikTok. We got to do our own TikTok. We got to do American TikTok because China owns TikTok." And he was talking about how, and I think a lot of people have seen this clip already, but he was talking about how China, their TikTok is completely different than ours. China TikTok is teaching kids about what's going on in their country and what's going on in their world, and you know, they're giving them, they're um, pretty much giving them all of the information, making them actually smarter about what's physically going on in the world. And what do our TikTok look like? Go look at TikTok right now. What is our TikTok? What is our TikTok? What is our TikTok? Our TikTok is literally created of dances, challenges, non-famous people becoming famous for some apparent reason. Nobody knows why. Uh, Stupid ass like uh would you rather's, like it's just, which I do would you rather's with my brother I say, but that's a different conversation. But it's literally that, and I think that I think that's kind of why I feel like a World War III would be detrimental to us as a country. There's no upside. In a lot of those wars, there was some sense of an upside. There's no upside in a World War III for us as a country. If we want to survive, if we want to still be here, yeah, you can sanction Russia till you get tired. But what if they don't listen? What if they don't give a fuck? What if they get to the point where they say, do what you want to do? We're going to still do what we want to do. Then what? What happens? What happens? To see what's happening right now is really live action. There's no way around it. There's no way to talk about it other than what I just did and try like explain it the best way I can to myself and to people that's listening. It's scary. It's scary. Because we've always believed that nobody will ever fuck with the United States of America. What we said is final. Motherfucker, don't move. Russia's test us today. They have physically said, oh, really? Okay, we're going to see. And they moved and they did it. But again, they technically didn't touch us. You know what I'm saying? Like if they touched a European country that was under the NATO agreement, that's a different conversation. But they touched a country that's kind of with us. They're affiliated. They're not physically with us. And I think that again, some of us might know what that means. Some people might not. And I feel like no matter what, um, what we're learning is that as hard as this country has tried to shelter what the outside world is, it's about to seek it more and more. And we're about to get a real introduction to just how tough we really are, just how strong we still are. Because there ain't no, there's nothing that can sugarcoat what's happening. It's happening. it's here. Like I said, I don't think Russia has that enough pull to get us, but China does. So to keep everybody at bay, maybe cooler heads will prevail. But at the same time, these are dictators. These are dictators. And the worst thing you don't, as a dictator, is somebody testing your gangster, pretty much. Testing your gangster. And Vladimir Putin got tested, and he pulled up. He pulled up with straight aggression today, and it sucks. It's terrible that this is how some people have to be introduced to this world because we've all been under. Well, most of us have been in the lights. Let's just make sure those lights don't get completely dimmed or cut out fully. And for that, uh, tell you guys soon. Hope you enjoyed it. Brian Janu, the Brian Janu Show. Stay safe. Peace.